Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Underhood Show presented by Mel Hambelton Racing. How about that? Instead of Mel Hambelton Ford, Josh. What do you think?
There we go.
Nick, you think that's all right to say Mel Hambelton Ford? Or we got to say Mel Hambelton Ford?
Mel Hambelton. Mel Hambelton.
There you go. Hey, anyway, we are live from Hartman Arena for the Arena Cross that happened last night. Had some good action together last night out here. And again, tonight out at Hartman Arena. So we're going to be live here. Soon we'll have Jay Reynolds on board. He is the promoter for the Arena Cross that we've been following all over the country and sponsoring with Mel Hambelton Racing. And before we get started, everybody, if you haven't looked, we've already opened up a new Facebook page. It's just Mel Hambelton Racing. Jump over on Facebook, like that. We've got a contest for this Haas RC car, giving it away. All you got to do is like the post, comment, and share your favorite racetrack, favorite race car driver, whatever it is, and we will put you in a drawing for that. So jump over to Mel Hambelton. Yeah, I got Scott. I got a better. That's why I was sorry to put it up there. I didn't want to block that, Josh. That's why.
No, you're fine.
But anyway, it is what it is.
Jump over to the new Mel Hambelton Racing Facebook page. Check out the video and like, comment, and share. Comment your favorite racer or your favorite racetrack to be entered in the drawing to win this Haas 4x4 Traxxas with the battery kit.
$560 retail
$560 retail value. So
very easy
be
to
giving that away soon.
But anyway, hey, this call-in show as always, 316-462-3673. Yeah, we don't have at the bottom of the screens. We don't block our logo, Josh, but that's okay.
I was
You're trying to edit that thing out a little bit?
tech on the fly and put it over in the corner. I know you can do it. I just, Gus.
Yes.
Yeah,
where's our IT guy?
Where's a good IT guy when you need him, right?
Yeah.
We got a pretty good one.
But anymore, good morning, James Furman. How you doing, buddy? Hope everything's good with you and from that part. So anyway, Mel Hambelton Racing Facebook page. There's also an Instagram page. We haven't done much with Instagram yet, but we will get there shortly. From that part, again, all you got to do is like, comment, share the post, and win this Haas 4x4 complete car ready to go in the box. $479 on the car, but it's $560 retail value with the batteries and everything else too. So hey, it's call-in show 316-462-3673. The number rolls right into the front desk at Mel Hambelton Ford. Tell me you want to get passed into the podcast with your question, comment, question, anything at all you want to talk about in the racing world from that part, or anything that's ailing your car. That's what this show started out to be, Josh, but it's kind of branched out in all kinds of junk stuff and everything else too. So anyway, we're out here live at Hartman Arena, and Jordan Whitehead with Chandler Dans is cooking breakfast for everybody, courtesy of Mel Hambelton Racing. So that's what some of the smoke you see in the background here.
Yep. We should have some samples coming up here any minute. So
Nick's hungry.
Oh, you think so?
I'm always hungry. I'm the fat guy of the group. Okay, give me a break. But hey, let's step out of the picture for a moment,
just a second,
and let's show everybody the racetrack, if you can see it. So they've got a pretty awesome track built right here inside the Hartman Arena. I was here for a little bit last night and watched these guys get running and watched the first couple of races. And man, let me tell you, the track's tight. It makes for some awesome excitement, and you don't want to miss it. So honestly, make sure you get out here tonight and check it out.
And looking around here, that doesn't appear that there is a bad seat in the house.
There is not a bad seat in the house.
I don't think you could pick a bad one.
So, yeah, we're going to get the promoter, Jay Reynolds, on board here just a little bit. He's, I'm sure he's busier and you know what, getting things ready to go for tonight. Again, night 2 out here at Hartman Arena. Races start at 7 o'clock, so you don't want to miss it. Lots of, like you said, Josh, great seats and everything else, too, from that part. So, hey, it's a call-in show. We want to get to talking to you about it, and you want to talk about anything in the automobile world, anything ailing your car. But if you want to talk about what's going on here at Hartman Arena, 316-462-3673. That's the number to dial up. It looks like they're bringing some of Jordan Whitehead's breakfast over here.
All right.
Josh, I'm sure your boys are hungry too, aren't they?
All right, let's see what we got. Bring it up here.
Oh, okay.
Bring it over here. Bring it right over here.
Here we go. Here comes the favorite. Oh, he just bought a whole pile of stuff.
Brought a whole pile of stuff. Look at that.
Think about that, Josh.
There you go.
Tell your boys to come over and get some of that food.
Well,
they got plates and all, so come on.
Yeah. So we got
courtesy of Chandler Dans.
We got some bacon.
Shouldn't say courtesy of Chandler Dans. It's Chandler Dans cooked it. Mel Hambelton Racing paid for all the food and everything else to cook the food and that stuff too. So I hope how is it, Nick?
Pretty much. Try that.
Try that bacon, Josh.
Try the bacon.
Come on, you got to try some bacon,
now.
Josh.
Yep, I'm good for right now. But so the General Tires Arena Cross Outlaws is what this is. So, did you guys get something to eat? Huh? Did you?
Yeah,
right,
dive in there, boys.
Yeah.
Eat it up. Anyway, looks like some steak and eggs and some bacon, some scrambled eggs, and some hash browns. So it looks very good to do. So come on, Cole, get in here. Let's get after it. Let's get after it. Josh won't have anything, but he'll have some eventually, right?
Maybe later. Yeah, it smells good. I will say that.
Jordan, he can make a steak now. Let me tell you.
Look at Nick. He's just getting after it.
He's going to
diving
right
in there.
Right there.
So anyway, hey, it's Call-In Show, 316-462-3673. Love to hear from you. Hey, good morning, Delbert Art. How you doing, buddy? Josh, what's in the package for each and every caller as I see what old Delbert's got up his sleeve this morning?
So again, it goes out to each and every caller. Whatever question you may have, or if you just want to talk automotive or something about arena cross or anything going on at the store for Mel Hambelton Racing, goes out to each and every caller, but it's going to consist of the works, which is an oil change and tire rotation. We use Motorcraft oil and filter products at Mel Hambelton Ford. While we're performing that, we're also going to complete a multi-point inspection on your vehicle, checking over the brakes, tires, steering, suspension, all the safety-related stuff, making sure that your vehicle is ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving. You'll also get yourself $10 to Mel's Diner so you can get yourself something to eat and drink while you're with us at the Big Corner, as well as complete nitrogen for your tires, so you get all the great benefits that nitrogen has to offer, and then a BG products package, which consists of a can of MOA or motor oil additive for your engine oil, and then CF5 for your fuel system. Again, just getting that vehicle geared up and ready to go for that next 5,000 miles of driving.
Anyway, so let's get the phones ringing. Love to hear from you and everything else like that. And as we're getting the mic set up here real quick, we'll get things dialed in here real fast. And so
here we have Jay Reynolds.
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. Phil,
General
Nick,
Tire
how are
Arena
you
Cross?
guys?
Yep, doing very well.
this is Josh. He's our service director, puts the show on with me. And
Fantastic.
so you missed him. He was in the store yesterday
Oh,
and stuff too. So you were, naturally
Yeah,
sitting behind
somewhere.
your desk with your feet up, not doing anything from that part. So Jay, it looks fun. It looks exciting. Tell our listeners everything. How'd last night go?
Oh, last night was fantastic. We had a really, really great crowd. Of course, Saturday night usually ends up being double that. If the crowd is double what it was last night, we'll be close to a sellout.
Oh, very good.
So the racing was so intense. It was amazing. It was just really, really cool. The General Tire Arena Cross, presented by Geico and locally presented by Mel Hambelton Ford Racing, has been going on. This year has been the biggest year we've ever had.
That's cool.
Yeah, we're a Pro-Am series, so that means that we're a pro and amateur series combined. That has that's kind of the industry buzz right now with what we're doing. There's other series out there that focus only on pros, right? Which is totally cool. But what people like and everything, from a sponsor standpoint, a lot of times is that that the people that actually buy the stuff, a lot of times we pay pros to be here, right? A lot of times, right? Or sponsors do, or that kind of thing. But we actually have the amateurs in there. That's who buys the product, right?
Okay, so my question would be then to you, and again, I know I can ride a two-wheel thing, but that's about all I know about them. Okay, but is this a way for these amateurs to leap into the next level?
Absolutely. We call it the road to Supercross.
Okay.
And for example, our top
Not
rider,
to interrupt you again,
Yeah.
sorry, but what's the difference between arena cross and supercross?
Love that question. So arena cross is we come into a smaller stadium, okay. Much like the Hartman Arena here. And then we haul in 150 dump truck loads of dirt.
150 of them, huh?
150, somewhere in there. Yeah. Yep. 150 dump truck loads of dirt. And we create we create the track. We've got a 10-year track builder that is just an expert. That's all he does is build tracks. And he's been doing it for years. But anyway, the difference between Supercross being the top level of indoor motocross that's in the world, and arena cross is just simply the size.
Okay.
Yeah, so Supercross typically uses Anaheim, where a football stadium.
Okay.
A large football stadium where they will have probably close to 1,000 dump truck loads of dirt, right?
Yeah.
To cover it and do everything. Whereas we're at about 145. So we come into hockey arenas, large equestrian arenas, and then build out. And that's how we build our series. The series running from November. It's a very tight window, from November to the beginning of February.
That makes sense.
Very
That
good.
makes sense. Anyway, Jay, this is it still started out to be a call-in show about what happened, something you didn't understand about your car, and Josh and I would diagnose your problem or whatever.
Okay.
But the show branched into all kinds of different things. So sometimes we get callers that's going to ask you questions.
No,
Sometimes might be asking Josh now what's going on with their car.
I love it.
Or who knows what kind of questions we're going to get in this world.
Sometimes we may look at each other and see who they are asking. So, but anyways, let's go to the phones. Let's talk to Colin. Colin, you're on live with Under the Hood. Go ahead.
Okay, guys, I love the show. I've been a fan for years, listened to you guys a long time, and always entertained. But here's a good one for you.
Okay.
A few weeks ago, I decided to destroy my right front tire by hitting something I never saw. And when they replaced it, I noticed that the whole thing needed an alignment. So I took it to a place to have it aligned, and they told me that the tie rods were busted, needed to be fixed. So I replaced those, and then they aligned it. And somehow along the way, the power steering all drained out. And then the guy tells me that there's a problem with the rack and pinion. I need your advice.
Gotcha. So I think that's a question for Jay. So we'll let him take that. And then, no. Okay. So Colin, what I think potentially maybe happening is if you, I missed the first part of it, but it sounded like maybe you hit a curb or something like that, or
Something, yeah.
Yeah, along those lines. But basically that, I mean, you very could have, because those tie rod ends are linked to the rack and pinion from that side. And if the impact of something was that good, you could have broke the rack and pinion on it as well. It could have cracked it or along those lines, especially if it bent the tie rod ends, if it was good enough to do that. So I do believe that there could definitely be a connection there. And then maybe it just took a little while longer of you driving the vehicle for that to expose itself for sure.
That also caused the power steering fluid to drain out, which has happened.
Yeah, so that the steering rack and pinion that is controlled, unless it's an electric rack, but it doesn't sound like in this particular situation, is controlled by hydraulic power steering fluid. And so, yeah, it would, if it was damaged in a way, it could have certainly caused the fluid to leak out.
Yeah, because I'm driving a tank right now trying to make turns.
Yeah, those the cars without when they need power steering, they need power steering, and if you don't have them,
Yes,
it makes all
do.
the difference in the world for sure.
I'm getting a good upper body workout. So what's recommended here?
So, for calling into the show, we're going to mail you out a package, but we'll be more than happy to add a diagnostic onto that package as well. Take a look at the vehicle and just let you know exactly, what's going on or what all's needed to get it fixed up and back on the road. But the other thing, I wouldn't drive that car very long without the power steering, because you're running that pump dry and it's running off the drive belt. So you're probably going to end up doing more damage than good if it's not something that's tended to pretty quick.
Okay, I really appreciate it. I'll take that advisement.
So we'll get that diagnostic onto your package and take a look at that thing and just see exactly what all's needed to get you fixed up. Okay.
Thanks again.
Hey, thanks for calling in.
Okay, so anyway, 316-462-3673. Hey, that's the number to dial in, and anything you want to talk about. But today we're at Hartman Arena, and if you want to talk to Jay Reynolds about what's happening out here at Hartman Arena, or a question about arena cross like I've got, or supercross, whatever, he's the expert and knows all that stuff. So Jay, I'll kick it back over to you again. So last night we had a great show, I guess.
Yep.
And tonight again, 7 o'clock, correct?
Absolutely. Doors open at 6. The really cool thing is this is like if people are like, what is arena cross like? Well, it's like a PBR, right? Professional bull riding, only we've got steel motorcycles.
Okay.
Right? So our top level athletes, which is our pro class, you're going to witness, if you like motorcycles or dirt bike riding or entertainment, right now we've got a guy named Michael Hicks. Okay. Michael Hicks is out of St. Louis. He's a great, I call him a kid. He's 22 years old. His future is really, really bright. He's the fastest man right now in the world. He really is. He is literally the fastest man, and I'll tell you why. He's the fastest man in the world in this type of racing. He's won out 3 times in our series. He'll win this series. He'll win again. He'll be 4-time champion. Okay. He goes to we have a competing series, another series that's out there that's a very good series. And he went there. He beat everybody there. Their champion, everybody they could throw at him. They even inverted the start, which is by their design, right? Comes from the back, and he beat everybody.
Really?
He timed in a second faster than their best. He timed in probably a half a second on this 19-second, which is a lot.
Yeah.
So anyway,
yeah, half a second in
on
one
a
lap.
19-second
And
lap.
19 seconds. That's pretty fast.
Yeah.
And how many laps will they go?
They'll do 14 laps in the main event.
So he's figured that out. He's going to be 7 seconds ahead of everybody else.
He lapped up to 4th place last night of a 15 lap.
Wow.
A 15 lap.
Wow.
Man. And if you saw that, it was, you get into lap traffic by lap 4. That means he's got 10 laps of navigating. It's like a video game. He'll look down that rhythm line and he'll see 5 bikes, and these are very talented riders. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the pro class. This is the best of the best. I mean, we have 300 racers here,
That's what
and there's only 15 of them that are good enough to be in the pro class. So anyway, so he comes around the corner and he looks and he's trying to navigate and weave his way through 5 of these guys jumping in the air, doing a double, triple. There's different combos. They can triple in, they can double in, and then triple out. And he's so fast that he's gonna pass them within a lap. Yeah, huh?
Probably in the air too, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, moving it through the air. So it's a sight to see, and you literally can witness that tonight right here in Wichita.
And those Hoosier motocross tires definitely help give him an advantage too.
Well, they do, absolutely. Hoosier came on the scene. I think we were the first series ever to have them as a sponsor. To have them in our series. They were actually tested. They were testing the tires in our series. This was 3 or 4 years ago. Hoosiers come on. Not only Hoosier Tire to the circle track scene, which we know is very prolific and everything. But in the motocross scene, they've come on in a really, really big way.
Yeah. What is this? I mean, our third year with the motorcycles.
I really kind of I think they started the program about 5 years ago, but it was. I kind of look at the Hoosier motocross program kind of like the Hoosier go-kart tire program. I was kind of around when the Hoosier kart tire program started to come along and get really big. And, and Hoosier was kind of the smaller company at the time competing with the Dunlop and the Burris and the Maxxis tires, in kart racing. And, through development and, Rome wasn't built in a day, and through the development, Hoosier then has kind of become the leader in the kart tire world for, a lot of these series that are still, on an open tire. Mm-hmm. And I think the motocross world, we're really kind of starting to see the same thing where, we're competing with, these big conglomerate brands, the Maxxis and the Dunlop, but Hoosier has developed a superior product that the guys that are on these tires are the top performers in the series that they're in.
Yep, absolutely.
So anyway, this Michael Hicks is, let's go back up to a minute. This is race. How many of the series again?
This is stop number 7 of 8. So we've had 14. This will be night number 14.
Night number 14. So some races you have, like tonight, like being here, you have 2 nights of races.
Correct.
Yeah. So was like last night a qualifier for tonight?
Nope.
Complete show?
Yeah, so exactly. So we found it to be best. Friday and Saturday night are identical shows. They have identical entertainment. We've got the craziest man in moto being Ronnie Mack here. We've got 4-time Guinness World Record holder Brian Jackson here, who has wheelied all these different places. He's done the most amount of circle wheelies on a 3-wheeler. He actually has 4 Guinness World Records, and those aren't easy to get. He'll actually wheelie the whole track and not even dab his foot down over these big jumps.
Kind of like something you can do, right, Josh?
I mean, by accident.
but to your point, same. Last night is the same show that you see tonight, and to the racers, it's also a separate point series. So yesterday had the same amount of points as today does. Okay, so let's go another step. It's a point series. You go up to the end of the champion, the crown of champions at the last race. Correct. What kind of money can a racer make? One of these, or what kind? Is it a good, or is it just strictly a points deal to move yourself on up? No, the pros. It's interesting because I race circle track cars too, and you get paid a little bit whenever you go.
A little bit.
It's not a lot, but you get paid some. In motocross, the way that is set up, an amateur cannot make money. Okay, makes sense. Okay, he can make contingency money through factories, but he can't be paid money through a promoter. Yeah. Or he loses his amateur status.
Then he's got to move into the pro status.
And then he's got to move up to the pro status. So
Okay.
back to your point, what can they make? We actually pay out over 100,000. Okay, for throughout the 16 race series,
Okay.
plus a purse, and then contingency, factory contingency. So if I race for Yamaha, or if I'm racing a Yamaha bike, then they actually pay a contingency back.
Okay.
And each manufacturer does that. You can make quite a bit. They make win bonuses through their sponsors, through their gear,
Yeah.
and that type of thing. So they're probably looking at a 4 to 5. I mean, they're probably running. They're going to make $4,000 to $5,000 a weekend if
really
at a top level. Yeah.
Well, that's more than I thought it would be. So that's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So as they get off, so how many classes will you run here tonight?
30.
Wow.
30 classes. So our heat races,
Okay.
and then heat races have to be broken down to divisions, right? Because we have a 12-man gate, and we want to make sure that everybody has a front gate,
Chance.
a good. Now in mains, you may be double stacked. More or less, you may have a back row start if you didn't qualify good enough in the heat races.
Yeah.
So we'll do right at 60 races in our 2:00 qualifying format just in the amateurs.
Oh, really? Okay.
And
So
then-
let's back up to a minute. So I thought everything started at 7:00. So really, it starts at 2:00 today.
Well, okay. So we do our amateur qualifying, right?
Okay.
So we run all our amateur heat races. Amateur. So the whole program runs like this. So noon is practice for amateurs. 2:00 is amateur qualifying or heat races. LCQs, last chance qualifiers, or semis
Yep.
in the circle track world would run at 4.
Okay.
And then at 5 we do pro qualifying. So now we've got all of the amateurs have gotten their place to where they're going to go into the main event. The main event is where the points and the money and the contingency is paid.
Okay.
That's for the amateurs. And then we take all those amateur main events, and they're in the night show with the whole pro program. So the pros go all the way through their heat races, LCQs, and their main events between 7 and 10 at night. And then you have 30 amateur main events spread in between all of that.
So if I want to come watch, can I come at 2:00 and watch?
You absolutely can.
Okay.
You can come. If you're doing that, don't buy a ticket for the front gate. If you have, we can simply upgrade you for $5 on the back with a pit pass, as you know, in the circle track world.
Yep.
And but just come to that park in the front, walk around to the back. They'll sell you a pit pass, and a pit pass is the same as it's a general admission seating. There, as you can see, there's not a bad seat in this place.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So that's your ticket to get in also. So
Okay.
yes, everybody can come in. That's a come and go. It's an all access pass. It's called a pit pass.
Sweet. So I was thinking it was just 7:00 to come race. So Josh, you got to get your boys be here.
Make it happen.
Make it happen. Be here.
One other interesting
Yeah.
thing, speaking of that, getting your boys, that reminded me. So they've, in the last 3 or 4 years, this company called Stasic, who's not a sponsor, but they've made a really cool product, and it's a strider bike for kids who are between about the ages of 3 and 6. And it's gotten kids started in the two-wheel world and in dirt bikes and just having fun because it's an electric bike.
Sure,
It's an
okay.
electric strider bike with a throttle. It's but anyway, we do a free Stasic kids race at 6:30 each day. All you got to do, if you come in, you either need a ticket or a pit pass, and you guys just bring the helmet and the kid on the Stasic bike strider. It's completely free. They're going to run 2 laps all the way around this big old track. They're going to go through the Geico catapult. They're going to go through the Race Tech rockers. They're going to go all the way around that track twice. They do very well at it, and we just have a blast.
Very cool.
Okay. Well, Josh, your boys are out if it's
Yeah.
3 to 6.
Yeah.
But Nick, hold on a minute. Let's get this going.
The wheels are turning. So are the bikes provided, or do we have to bring a bike?
You have to bring a bike.
Okay, I don't have a bike.
Well, where can we buy one? Because we're going to get one. Everett's going to get on the bike.
I do. Another sponsor, Bees Moto Lab,
Yeah.
one of our sponsors. I believe I saw one in there.
All right,
right.
let's go see.
They're a
Beast Motor
Stasic
Lab,
dealer.
and let's grab you a bike,
His
Nick.
mother's gonna.
I know we can get a helmet. I know we can get all the goggles
Yeah.
and everything
I've
else
got
from
some
that.
helmets for you.
See?
So, yep.
We are ready to go. Megan doesn't have to find out.
I know.
She don't need to know. She's not watching.
probably
But I
watching
promise
the
she'll
show.
find out when she gets home. Well, when you get home, she'll find out.
Yeah, I know.
After you take pictures of
All
the
right.
event, when you get home, then you
Yeah.
show her the picture.
All right. We'll make this happen.
But that is true. That is what you have to do in every kind of sport you're at. We've got to get the kids involved. You got to start them there, get them in the groove, get things going and stuff like that. So that's very cool that you have that for the young riders, the young kids to get involved and stuff like that. Because I don't know, Josh, I know your boy's got a couple bikes, and I think this would be entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
So
Phil, to your point of getting kids, so right after that, then we start kids at 5 years old. Actually, it's as young as 4. So we've got the 50cc class. That's probably one of our biggest classes. We have 5 classes that encompass everything from an air-cooled class to a 50cc senior, which just means it's a 50cc motorcycle with a wheel size. KTM makes them, KTM gas and Cobra. These different manufacturers make them. These kids are amazing. They're actually, some of them are hitting the rhythm section, doing a double through the rhythm sections and that kind of thing. But I think we've got over 50 of our racers are that classification from 4 to 6 right now in here tonight.
come on, Nick.
And that's one of the crowd favorites too.
And when he says they're amazing, what he means is they can beat us on motorcycles out there is what he means.
That's probably no doubt.
Yeah.
That is no doubt.
Yeah.
So that would be fun to watch too. And Nick, I can't wait to see where Everett places.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, I see.
Neither.
He's kind of getting a little weak on us, I think. If I talked to Everett, I bet he'd be ready to go.
I bet he would too.
So,
Well, very good.
anyway, 316-462-3673. Hey, it's a call-in show. We got Jay Reynolds, a promoter for the Arena Cross out here at Hartman Arena again tonight. They had a fantastic night last night, so it'll be fun to see how everything goes tonight. So you don't want to miss it. If you want to come out this afternoon and buy a pit pass on the backside, you can do that, or be out here before 7 o'clock to jump in. And what's it cost, Jay, for if I come at 6 o'clock?
Yeah,
Or
so
6 o'clock or whatever it might be. I need to be
I
in
believe
here.
I believe a ticket's $23,
Okay.
and then a kid's is 18 or 19.
Somewhere there. Okay.
Yeah, it's something like that. If they go to the back and they do want that pit pass experience, then it's $25.
Well, I tell you, that's part of the fun of seeing the racers,
Yeah.
meet the racers, watch
Sure.
them in action back there and all that kind of stuff
And
too.
speaking of that,
Get
we
to see them work
should
on their dirt bikes and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yep.
I'm gonna go and find. Speaking of meeting the racers, we're gonna bring on national champion Michael Lessie.
Okay.
Okay.
And so he's going to be here, and I'm gonna find him for the show real quick.
Gotcha.
He's been racing. He was number 2 ranked in Supercross at one time in his career.
Okay.
He is still out here having a blast. He's kind of the elder statesman now. He's 34.
Yeah.
And still, last night he placed consistently second place. I think he was second and third all night long. So anyway, I'm going to go find him
Okay.
so he
Go
can be a
find
guest
him,
on the
Jay.
show.
Love to have him on the show and everything
Okay.
else like that too. Any last thoughts or anything before you take off and bring Michael back?
Oh, just excited to be involved with Mel Hambelton Ford. I can't. That's just not a pitch out.
Yeah.
That's an honest thing. I think that this community, after just seeing what's going on, I asked Nick a question. I said, what, after seeing what was going on there, I asked Nick, I said, what does Mel Hambelton Ford do to keep I see morale is and just the attitude of the employees was just way up here. And I travel all around the Midwest, right? I travel at least 10 states in that and see all kinds of different companies. And he said, man, it starts with Lisa, and it's just the morale. It's just what's imposed. I just saw really, really, really good things that were going on there. And I don't know how to put it into words at the moment, but
I get it.
But the point is that I think this community should be very excited to have a dealership like this. We're in Springfield, Missouri, and we have good dealerships, but we don't have anything that you walk in and it's like exciting. It's like it's a vanilla experience where you've got car salesmen trying to sell you cars, and then you walk out and you're trying to figure out how not to have to come back. You're really trying to figure out how can I not have to experience that again. And I don't think that happens. That experience is what's going on where you were at. I walk in and you've got like this where you can eat and drink things. I mean, you've got all these things that are going on. You've got the race cars around. That's really cool. You've got old nostalgic cars there. all this stuff. So I just think the community is really excited, should be really excited to have that. And that's kind of what I will leave with. And I'll go find Michael Essie.
Go find Michael and get him on here and stuff, and excited to be part of with you and your group. This has been fun. I know every time Tyler comes back, and he's excited what he's been out each weekend where he's been with you guys and everything else too. And excited to have Tyler with us. That's for sure. Out there representing us with you and all your series and stuff. But I'm telling you what, I'm more excited after now that I've seen. I have so many irons in the fire, it's crazy, and I can't keep track of everything where everything's at all the time sometimes too. But now that I see what we got involved here, I can't wait for us when you're finished up with this season to sit down in your off season and plan how we can blow this up 10 times more than what we did this year.
Absolutely. It's very, very good. Thanks for having me on, Phil and guys. And I'm going to go find Mike. He's he'll be a great, everybody, you want to stick around and listen because Mike's awesome, dude.
See what he's got
good
to say.
Yeah,
Jay, thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
So next, we're gonna have another special guest come on here.
As we get him set up, Josh, we got a few boys wanting to be a little,
So I think
we've got some guys like to be a little sassy here, I guess is what I should say. Josh, Rex wants you to sit down on the railing so you're not. He thinks you're too tall or something.
I had to sit, so
He's trying to be funny.
Yeah, but then also we were talking, or I think we're supposed to get on mini bikes. We got guys that are willing to drive across the state to see that.
Okay. So. Well, I hate to tell you, Rex.
I will park it in the first corner, guaranteed.
I might do too, but I'm gonna get my butt back up and get going again.
I'll beat you to the first corner, but then I'll park
there's
there.
no competition here either. We get after it. Okay, we're going joined up here with our chef, Jordan Whitehead. Jordan, got some food sitting here. I've had a little taste of some stuff, and it's terrible.
Will you be the flag guy to our race?
Absolutely, I'll
Be the what?
The flag guy to our race?
No, he's going to be on a bike too.
Yeah, just a correction. The food is absolutely not. That's the best money spot. You know it is. It's the best. Steak and
I was
eggs.
kidding.
I know. I'm just saying. Well,
I was kidding, but we're going to have to, after the show, I hope you got some left. We're going to have to go down and get some hot food.
Yeah.
This has been good. We've been sampling all. Oh, I shouldn't say we. We should be saying Nick.
I don't know
has
you,
been
but I've been watching you stuff that bacon like
nobody likes
like it was the
bacon.
last pig on earth for a minute.
Well, I get you. So anyway, yeah, Rex, you're really, really, really funny, but that's okay.
So what'd you make this morning?
Well, we did a New York strip steak marinated. We did some eggs. We did some country potatoes, biscuits, and a little bit of bacon. So just a classic Midwest breakfast, if you will, that everyone loves. And we, Mel Hambelton, they don't do anything
halfway.
if it's not over the top. I was going to say halfway, but I couldn't think of the term I couldn't use on the radio. But yeah they don't do anything halfway. So of course they they went with the steak and eggs breakfast. And so we were happy to get out here and glad we could knock it out of the park for you guys.
Yeah, and I hope you're down over there in the tunnel, and I can't see you. I hope the racers are all enjoying that and getting out there and stuff too. I was a little bit worried we kind of did this kind of last minute and hoping everybody got the word out there, knowing the food was there for everybody and all that kind of stuff too.
Yeah, no, they hit it like a pack of vultures over there. It was
good. Okay,
it was good. They liked it. Yeah, they were lined up ready to go at 8:30 right when we had it ready, and they got after it. So
good deal.
Good. So hey, 316-462-3673. Love to hear from you. Anything going on in the automobile world? Anything ailing your car? What the show's mainly about. But again, we get out and travel around all different places, and it's fun, exciting with all of our sponsors and stuff too. But again, out here at Hartman Arena for the Arena Cross. Had a great night last night. And again, if you want to come out this afternoon and buy a pit pass, come in the back gate. I don't remember what he said, $25. I can't remember exactly. Something like that. Or come out here. I'd be out here if I was going to sit in the stands and watch. I'd be out here about 6:30 and get geared up and watch the fun, exciting races they're going to have. Going to be from about 7 to 10 is kind of what Jay said too. So don't want to miss it. Also sitting in front of us, you see the Haas 4x4 car. As much as big as Mel Hambelton Racing has gone, we have now branched off and made its own Facebook page. And I'm going to tell you guys, it was hard for me to do that because I didn't want to split our audiences up from Mel Hambelton Ford to Mel Hambelton Racing. But it is time. Mel Hambelton Racing has grown so big. We need to have a separate audience for we can talk about just what's going on in the racing world. And we've got to have the other Facebook page to talk strictly about what's going on at Mel Hambelton Ford. So jump over to Mel Hambelton Racing Facebook page, like, comment, share this post of this Haas 4x4. Josh, don't you have a couple of those?
I do.
Are they in one piece right now, though?
So my boys, so there a couple of my boys and then a couple of their friends have them, and so far we've broke some stuff, but nothing really. I think I've broke more at the control than they have. So,
My
so
son's disintegrated against the side of the barn about 15 seconds
yeah.
after he
So
bought it.
we actually one night while I was looking around, and somebody had said that the average times of running, you can run it like 1.2 times, and something will break on it from that side. But it's not because of the construction of the equipment. It's because of how it's treated, because it's always how much further can I jump it, how much farther or faster can I go.
Nothing can hit a brick wall at 60 and not break.
Yeah, I'm good for about 20 minutes before I have a failure that stops me for the day.
And then it's what I will say about them though is, I mean, the pieces are relatively very inexpensive to fix them. But then the other side of that, for my point, is the education that the kids are getting on what broke, why it's broke, how do I fix it,
how to fix it. Yeah, I mean, because they're simple to fix. There's really nothing complicated about it, you know.
That translates through so many things later on in life and stuff like that. So it's an education. That's how I'm selling it.
Well, that's one way to look at it. I can promise you that. That's for sure. So trust me, I was in those stages.
Yeah.
Years ago with these RC cars and everything else like that too, and breaking and fixing them, going and racing and everything else too. So it is a lot of fun. But anyway, jump over to the Mountain Facebook page. Did a post for this car. Just like, comment, and share that post. Like your favorite race car driver or track. We don't care. And next week, we're going to draw for this Haas car with a battery pack, everything ready to go. $560 value. And that's all you got to do is like the page, comment, share that post. And we'll see who's going to be the lucky winner of that car.
So my question for Jordan is, are you ready for the race open house on February 18th?
I cannot wait. We're going to cook up the best burgers and dogs you've ever. That thing gets bigger every year.
It's going to be huge.
I don't even know how to plan for the numbers wise, but it gets bigger every year. And, you know, just to kind of comment on what Phil said about the Mel Hambelton Ford Racing and everything, you know, as a race fan and a former racer, Mel Hambelton Ford Racing has really woven itself into the fabric of motorsports. It's where the cool kids hang out, if you will, like Mesilla Valley Transportation or Rancho Milagro. Like, I don't even know what those are, but I know the cool kids have it on their race car. And that is what Mel Hambelton has become. It's a brand that people want it on their race car. They want to see what it's about. They want to come into the dealership. I've even noticed racers from out of state ordering their Ford vehicles and their tow rigs from you guys just because, hey, they want the Mel Hambelton Ford logo on the back. I mean, you guys have done an awesome job branding that. And I don't know if it's a conglomerate whose idea was behind it, but it is, as a fan of motorsports, bravo, because it's what's keeping our sport alive. So,
well, it takes a whole team to keep this thing moving and shaking and going with all the different stuff. And it's just kind of like I walked in here this morning saying, "Where's this? Where's that?" We just have too many irons in the fire. But it is cool from where we've taken Mel Hambelton Racing. I mean, we first brought it into the dealership. Josh, you can vouch for this. The techs thought that I was spending more time on on the racing side than I was the shop side. And now I think everybody gets it of what it's done to bring more into the dealership and more footprint into the dealership. But we still fight that Ford Chevy thing. And that's kind of why Mel Hambelton Racing is now Mel Hambelton Racing, not Mel Hambelton Ford Racing and stuff. But again, we sell a lot of Chevy parts. We sell a lot of Chevy cars. We service a lot of Chevy cars and stuff too. So I understand the love-hate with the Ford Chevy deal, but it's all racing. It's all part of the package and everything else too.
I like to tell people we sell new Fords, and that's about as far as it goes.
It's very true.
Everything else is fair game.
Everything else is fair game. So, and it's fun too, Jordan, as we've branched into different things. Like we're here now with motocross, the RC cars. And, first it started out as a kind of I will tell you, mostly it was started out as a dirt track. Mm-hmm. Now when we got into the drag and then we got into RC cars, now we're into motocross and who knows what else we're going to get into.
It's motorsports in general. It's blanketed. And then you see that even street racers and tuners and all these guys, like I said, they want Mel Hambelton Racing on their car. It's where the cool kids hang out. That's the best way I can describe it. It's where the cool kids hang out.
Well, what are you doing here then?
Right? Chill out, Phil. We almost count on Phil.
Come on, buddy. Take a little tease and take a little teasing around here. So, Jordan, hey, thanks for cooking with us and everything else today. Appreciate that. And you always bring some good food to us and everything else too. And
we're always talking about Chandler Dan's and how good it is. And this is the man right here. So
Chandler and Dan are my sons. So
very cool.
So anyway, you cook all over, not just with us, but you have all different things and stuff too. But you'll cater people's houses and everything too, right? Yeah, so when everybody's looking for somewhere to go, Jordan, you took care of Ellie at her graduation party at my house. Did a fantastic job there too. So if you're looking for somebody to cater some good food or whatever, you need to call Jordan Whitehead and let him take care of you.
People got to eat. So call me.
It's kind of like cars and trucks. That's why we live with it.
And you're going to eat good, guaranteed. So
anyway, it looks like Jay is back
Yep.
with it's Michael.
with Mike Alessi.
Mike.
So
I could probably out motocross that guy, honestly, if we're being, probably.
Okay, did you hear that?
Yeah, I'm going to go
Whole
get some
shot
bikes
on it.
ready.
I'd cut the corner there and go right to the finish line. And that's
Okay,
how
here's what I'm gonna tell you. He might outbike him, but get an ambulance ready too.
Yeah.
he's not going to be able to breathe when he's done.
you think I get much air on them jumps? Maybe 20 years ago.
Rex says his money's on Nick, so I don't know.
Which Nick?
I'm assuming that Nick.
All right, Rex, game on, baby.
All right, so let's get a bike. I'm ready.
Let's get a
All
bike.
right,
Get it ready.
well, I'm
Yep.
going to step off here and get
We'll
this.
get Mike on
get
here
the
and everything else.
superstar
Jordan, thanks
on
for
here.
cooking for us, Jordan, and keep up the good work, buddy. Nick. Anyway, as we get the mics all set up here and ready to go, as we bring in Mike.
Morning,
And
guys.
Good morning, Mike. Hey, thanks
Hey,
for
Mike.
joining us. And I hear you're pretty fast on a bike, huh?
I'm okay.
Just okay.
Nick will tell you I'm pretty good.
He's
These-
all right. Yeah,
these it just
he's
for me,
pretty
it
good.
just depends on which day. Depending on if I get a good night's sleep and my daughters don't wake me up at midnight, 2 a.m. crying,
Yeah.
then I might ride a little bit better.
Anyway, so as a listener watching this and listening to you and everything else, what's the thrill? What's the anxiety level like, that kind of stuff when you fire that bike up? And let's first talk about your bike. How big a bike is it?
Right now it's a 252 stroke. It's my dad's bike
Yeah.
because this whole program came together the last minute in October when we were talking with Jay. So we had the bike delivered from California to Kansas, and then from Kansas it went to Chuck and David from Redline, and they're basically taking the motorcycle from race to race. Sunoco Fuel supplying the gas, and Hoosier Tires are doing my tires at the races.
Doing size at races.
So we kind of made it all work, and like I said, it was it was kind of like a last minute deal, but we made it work, and we're here now. And kind of, like your question was the excitement, right? I mean, for me, I'm a 35-year-old man with 2 kids and a wife. Like, for me, I just love being at the races, and that jitteriness and that excitement, like in the butterflies in the stomach, I still get it to this day when I'm sitting on the gate and I know I'm rubbing elbows with 20-year-olds and 21-year-olds, and I'm like, I'm coming into this first turn. I'm gonna be like, I'm the baddest mofo here. I'm gonna beat you to the first turn. I don't care what it's gonna take. And
you are the whole shot king.
I
You do have that. You do have that.
I'm pretty good at them, that's for sure. Even though last night I didn't get a great start, and the first one I kind of spun, but the second one I made up for it, and it was almost a whole shot. So,
well, I heard you kind of waxed them up pretty hard. So
not trying. I mean,
yeah,
it's not easy when you're racing against kids that are, barely out of their teens. They're full of piss and vinegar, and they don't care. They're
no
just,
fear.
No fear at all. They just want to go for it.
Yeah,
Just
no
send
fear.
it.
Yeah, just send it. And I know what you mean about those butterflies. With my son racing, we on dirt track, and every time we go out for a heat race or we go for a feature, whatever it is, I got them same jittery butterflies, nervous as heck, and the twitches going on, ready to go, but nervous and everything else too. So I was just curious how your thrill of that is still at 35 years old.
Yeah.
And it's still there. That's just a love and breathe you have for this sport.
I feel like as I've gotten older, I've learned to understand my body and learn to take deep breaths right before the gate, keep myself calm, keep the heart rate low, because as soon as that gate drops, the adrenaline goes up and the heart rate goes right to like 180, 190.
It's on.
So let's talk about that a minute. You talk about your body and stuff, being a 35-year-old. Do you have a routine? Do you have a...
Can't run. No running.
No running.
Knees can't take it for sure. So for me, being my age, I got to do a lot of mountain biking, which is nice, and rowing. And the rowing
really?
is probably, if anybody's ever done rowing, knows that those are like literally like the devil.
Yeah.
Although doing the rowing will make you a fit athlete really quickly.
Because that's where a lot of your stuff's at with the handlebars and everything else too, is right up here. It's your upper body, right?
All in your upper body and chest. Obviously the core too, keeping the core nice and strong, but you also have, it's the whole package: legs, back, core, arms, chest, shoulders. It's not just one thing, it's the whole body. And for me, like I said, I'm 35 years old. So the least amount of impact that I can have on the body, the better. Where the rowing for me is like instant. Like I see performance and results from it instantly. So what I do is I do the 4x4, which is a 4 minutes rowing 1,000 meters 4 times with 4-minute rest. That's it. And I tell you, you'll be completely smoked. So you do 1,000 meters. You do not.
Are you doing this on a machine or what are you doing?
The rowing machine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're on a sitting rowing machine and you're pulling back and forth, and you're doing it for 4 minutes, wide open. So my heart rate for my age, I think, is like 182, 185, right in there.
Yeah.
And I'll get my heart rate to 190. So
Really?
I'm going above heart rate max for my age.
4 on, 4 off, 4 times.
4 times. I call it 4 times, 4 times 4. So 4 times.
That daily?
No. I do this once, maybe twice a week.
Once or twice a week.
At the most. Because anybody who does it knows that your heart rate goes that high. To recover from something like that takes a couple days. So you can't do it progressively every day.
So what about doing maybe, say, 4 minutes and not so hard or whatever, just to still try to.
You got to, in racing here at Arena Cross, you got to go all out.
Got to go all out.
There is no such thing as, going 70% or 80%.
I get that on the
but
racetrack.
That's the guy that's in 6th
Correct,
or 7th.
100%.
Right?
If you're going 80%, you're in 5th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with the workout, I understand racing. You got to be on the game now. Go.
Yes, sir.
From that part, but I didn't know if a workout you could do, say, 2 minute thing or something like that to help you or whatever. But again, I'm not an expert on the workout and everything else either.
In racing, it's all about high intensity.
Yep.
All about high intensity. The guy who can sustain the longest with the high intensity is the guy that's going to win.
Okay, so I'm going to throw another thing at it. What about your diet? What do you eat? Do you have a strict diet or not?
I'm pretty big on fruits, vegetables,
steak and eggs.
I really don't hardly ever have steak.
Really?
So here's kind of, and this is how it was kind of told to me years ago. Think of your stomach, right, as a blender, right? You put banana in there, you put an apple, strawberries, right? The blender is going to go fast. You put potatoes, that kind of stuff, like rice. It's going to start slowing it down, right? The rotation of the blender is not going to go, right? Then you put a steak in there. You put something big, heavy, right? That blender is going to be like, it's going to be hardly going. So for me, I try to always stick with like fruit, vegetables, salmon, chicken, stuff that's good for the body, not too heavy. And especially on race day, like I hardly ever eat it all, because when you're going out there pushing as hard as we are, the last thing you want to do is have like a belly full of food, and then you're going to go 190 heart rate. You're going to feel almost sick and want to throw up. So yeah.
So not much during the day before the race.
Correct. Yeah. It's very light.
And I bet you're drinking
drink lots of water to stay hydrated all
just
the time.
Constantly, aren't you, from
Yes,
that part? And I think that's where a lot of racers and stuff too. I watched, I watch a lot of different types of racing and stuff too. And I watched the deal the other night where a guy hadn't raced in about a year, got in the car, everything else like that, and he ran a heat race, and he come back out of the heat race, and I mean, he won, but he just wore out. He's sweating, and it's because he was so out of shape.
Yep.
He just hadn't got himself back into the game and everything else like that. And I don't think a lot of people realize that, we look at a basketball player, a football player, or, those kind of players, and they're called the athletes. They don't realize racers, and I don't care what racing you're doing, from the motocross to dirt track to drag or whatever, how much of an athlete they are too, on top of what it takes.
100%. You got to be in shape in any form of sport that you're doing. Like you said, football, basketball, soccer. Like those guys are running for nonstop for an hour and a half. Like you have to be in fit, competitive condition. Like you can't just be out there thinking that you can go race with the world's best riders and roll off the couch and just go do it. It's not going to happen. And if you do try, you're going to end up getting hurt pretty bad.
So guys, we got a phone call on the line here. Let's go to the phones. Let's talk to Larry. Larry, you're on live with Under the Hood. Go ahead.
Yeah, Phil, I got a 2008 Lexus GX470 V8, and I am fighting an emissions problem on that thing. It is just really weird. When you pull a codes, he's talking about those exhaust gas switching valves, and I've checked every one of those. The electrical part's good. The vacuum is there, and that check-in's on. It'll come on like in the late fall, and it'll be off till maybe late spring, and all of a sudden it just goes away, and it'll be good for 4 or 5 months. And it's like there's some barometric pressure thing going on and messing with me. I don't know, but it's just weird.
Yeah, we need to take a look at it. Anyway, Mike, to let you know, this show started back in 2004 as a call-in show for what's ailing your car and that kind of thing. And we just branched this show into so many different things and different places we go to entertain more people and stuff like that. So Larry calling in here with his car question, that's what the show started as. But it's still fun to take those calls and
you're trying to help them out, right?
And help them out with their cars.
Those are people that don't know something about their car, and you are the experts. That's why they're calling.
Yeah. So anyway, basically, he's right. So anyway, what we need to do there is we need to, a lot of people have what they call code readers and read the codes and then try to diagnose it off of that, Larry. But we need to get a scanner in there and really get the pinpoint code of that problem and then get the trouble tree out and diagnose exactly what's happening and try to figure it out. But I'm going to bet what you're telling me, a come and go kind of a situation, you're fighting there, whatever, you've got a connection problem somewhere is what I bet we're going to come up with. That's loose that you can't find or whatever. But I want to add a diagnostic onto your package where we'll get that Lexus in. And again, all the listeners out there, we don't just work on new Fords or used Fords. We work on every make and model out there with our technicians and stuff. So love to get Lexus in there, put a diagnosis on there, figure out exactly what's ailing that thing. And I still bet we're going to find a connection problem somewhere that thing is actually got a loose connection somewhere when you're saying it's intermittent like that.
Hey, Phil, there's a reason why he's calling you and not me about his Lexus.
You're right about that. So, Larry,
Thanks, Phil.
well, thank you, buddy. Talk to you soon.
You guys have a good day.
You too.
Yeah, bye.
So anyway, that's how this show kind of started. It was a call-in show to fix your car if you didn't understand whatever. And then as this racing world came into play, we'd take this, and we've been all over this show. I've even been to Bristol Motor Speedway with the show, done it there. We've been, God, I can't think all the places we've been.
Chili Bowl, did the Chili Bowl.
PRI. We've been all over with everything else too from that part. So
I got a cool little car actually back home in Florida where I live. By Jacksonville, a little 76 Corvette Stingray. That's my baby.
There you go.
It's got a little stroker engine in it. I got the brakes, brake lines all redone. I got the interior all done with the 800 on the seat, so it looks nice and sweet.
Very cool. I figured you were probably with that Jacksonville hat on there.
Oh, yeah. So we came close to winning last week.
Yeah, you did. You got close.
I'll be honest. The Kansas City, 100% deserved it, and I give him credit. Jacksonville played their heart out, and it came down to just a couple little plays here and there that could have maybe turned the tide, and Jacksonville maybe have been able to win. But at the end of the day, if you look at the overall score of the games on last weekend on Saturday, Sunday, we were the closest game in points to winning versus any other team.
And that's what I'll bring to the attention too, is what's happened in our sporting world today. And just like you said too, is it's one play or two plays that could have changed the whole outcome of that game. And the average play is like 3 seconds. So if you figure out they're putting in 3 seconds per play and think about 6 seconds could have changed a win or a loss. Think about the same thing on the racetrack. Just a split second of a turn right, hit the throttle just right, hit the brake just right, the right jump, whatever can change the game.
Well, that's the thing about dirt bikes, right? Good riders, they practice their craft until they get it right. Great riders practice it till they can't get it wrong. And that for me, like I go out there and I perfect it until I can't get it wrong no more.
Okay, so have you followed this whole series wherever it's been so
I've been doing the whole series. The whole
series, cool,
from the beginning.
So during the off time, what do you do to keep, besides your rowing and everything else like that? Do you ride?
Back home? Yeah.
So you probably got your own track maybe or something.
Sir,
I bet you probably do.
Yeah, I've been racing professional since 2004 when I raced against Carmichael and Wyndham and James Stewart, all the big.
I remember Carmichael's name. Yeah,
I was on the podium. Actually, I got a record that Ricky doesn't have.
Oh, very cool.
I was on the podium at 16 years old, 3 months. And he never did that as a 16-year-old.
Very cool.
So that's kind of a cool stat that I got that he doesn't have in his big record book.
So we've got another caller on the line. So we'll go back to the phones, and this calls for you. So whatever Doug has going on. No, Doug, you're on live with Under the Hood. Sorry about wait. Go ahead.
That's okay. Good morning, guys. Enjoy the show. I've got a question about higher octane gas. Is it necessary to, pay the extra few pennies or whatever to get to the higher octane gas in your everyday car, or does that really not make a difference?
Well, here's my opinion on that situation is every engine needs a certain octane, just like in Mike's race bike and stuff like that too. Can he put a different higher octane in it and stuff like that too? Sure he can. But the deal with it is if your engine doesn't need that octane, it can't burn it. So if you put that higher octane in it, it can't burn it. Guess what it does? It turns it to carbon, and it eventually will build more carbon and stuff inside your engine. So you need to find out what octane that your engine uses, and that's what it needs. And years ago, back when we had the carburetors and electric, different kinds of points and condenser and stuff, you could put higher octane fuels in them, and that would change stuff. But not today with the computers we have on board, and the manufacturers make these vehicles perform as good as they can. The higher octane is not going to help you. Just look at the fuel. Most cars on the fuel cap or the fuel will have what octane is rating that you need there. Now, the only negative that might be coming of that saying that is you never know exactly what you're getting at that pump either. They might say that it's an 87 octane or a 91 or 92, whatever it might be, but that's not always the case. It's what's coming out of that hose either. But again, if you just put that higher octane fuel in it and it only needs 87 and you're putting 91 octane fuel in it, I promise you, you're just building a whole bunch more carbon inside that engine that it doesn't need.
All right. Great. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the show.
Thanks for your call, Doug.
So talking about race fuel, you're running a 2-stroke. Is that what you said?
Yes, sir.
So what kind of a fuel do you run with your bike?
Right now we have the Sunoco gas, which we're kind of, it's interesting that he was just calling about that because it's almost the same concept as our bike in the dirt bike world, right? Too much octane is not good for the motorcycle, right?
Yep.
So we're cutting it right now, Sunoco with the 93, so that way the bike has the oxygen to burn.
Yep.
Because with straight, when we were running straight, the bike wasn't able to breathe, and it was like almost like bogging. It didn't have enough.
Yep.
So we cut the gas. Now the bike's perfect.
Yep, that's exactly right. And it's now if an engine's designed, it needs that because the higher compression basically what makes it need more octane.
Correct.
That's perfect.
It's all about how much is in your engine, if it's stroked or not, and the different gas is going to definitely create a chamber for the bike if it doesn't work or not.
Yep, exactly. So it's a crucial deal. And, like I said, years ago when we had the carburation and we could adjust timing and all that kind of stuff and everything, and they came out the higher octane fuels, those engines back then, it would help them a little bit because the carburation and the timing and all that stuff wasn't dialed in as tight as it is now with the computer controlling that mixture that's going in there and the timing that it has and all that kind of stuff too. And that's my next question I got to you. Is your bike carbureted or is it injected? It is carbureted.
Because everything now is like EFI, all the motorcycles EFI, but being on a 2-stroke, you got to have the jets and you have to have the gas right and the mixture.
Yeah,
it's everything. Where the 4-strokes, you just
get on and go.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Mike. So a lot of these guys that you're racing with, they're riding 4-strokes.
Yep.
So why are you bringing a 2-stroke bike to the battle?
It's all I had when I was in California. So when I was in California, the team had all their bikes in Sydney, Australia for the World Supercross. And at that time, there was no option for motorcycles when Jay approached me about doing this series. And at the moment, it was like, well, my dad's like, you could ride my bike. It's no problem. But he's like, when you're done with it, I need a top end. And it's going to be $2,500. I was like, whatever, no problem. I'll do it. So that's kind of, it was either that or I wasn't racing at all.
So do you feel like with the 2-stroke racing against the 4-strokes, do you feel like you're at any type of advantage or disadvantage?
100% disadvantage. There's no way you can replace the engine braking that a 4-stroke has that the 2-stroke doesn't have, because when I get off the gas, right, I have to keep momentum around the track and keep roll speed, where the 4-stroke, as soon as they get off the gas, the engine braking is slowing them down and the immediate torque is right there immediate. With the 2-stroke, you have to build momentum.
You have to build it.
So for sure, 100%, it's a disadvantage.
But you're waxing there, once every day out there.
Trying to. But you know what? Here at the General Tire, they do such a great job. And Jay Reynolds here, he puts on a fantastic show. We're here in Wichita, Kansas this weekend. And like I said, he puts on an amazing show. And anybody that's in the area, come on out, check it out. We are racing tonight here. Practice at 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock racing. And it's going to be a good time.
It is going to be a good time. And Mike, we're running out of time. I hate to tell you.
We got another caller.
Delbert.
Yeah, Delbert's on the line. Sorry about that.
Our local, always on Saturday mornings calling in and stuff. He lives down in Oklahoma and stuff. So, Delbert, you're live with us. What's happening, buddy?
Oh, good morning. This has been an awesome show, guys. Everybody involved, thank you for that.
You bet. Mike's been good.
And I was going to ask about braking with that 2-stroke, but he's already answered that question. So that while I was sitting on the phone, that was weird. Anyway, I do have a brake question.
Okay.
On my Ford Fusion. I'm sorry, I had you on the video too. So now on the Ford Fusion that I have, they 77,000 miles, have never had to have the brakes worked on. They keep saying they're good.
Yep.
But I have noticed the rear brakes have a lot of lines through the rotor. So I'm considering going ahead and just replacing those and the rotors, just because I don't think I'm going to have them shaved off just to make them better. So, but the front ones look pretty good. And I can notice a difference in the sound of how I brake at high speeds in those brakes. So I'm wondering if that might be that lines in the rotor that are causing that sound. Just a different tone, not really a loud sound at all, just a different tone. I listen to my car every day, so
yeah, I get it, Delbert.
Weird guy.
Yeah. Yeah, and as many miles as you drive, you get used to what the car makes and sounds and makes and everything else too. But they've done such tremendous improvement on brakes. We used to replace brakes every 20,000 miles. Now you're at 70,000. I see guys go 100,000 miles. They've been having brakes replaced because they've done such a fantastic job of improving that. Well, what's happened on your rears, in my opinion, Josh, you tell me what you think, but what happens is your front tires throw dirt back to the rears, and that's dirt that has gotten between the pad and the rotor and make those grooves and everything else inside those rear pads. And remember, you do most of your braking, probably 70% of the braking happens with your front versus your rears. And the rears aren't near as thick of a pad. And I see us replacing rears before we're replacing fronts nowadays because of how the different things have happened, what they've done with the front of the brakes and all that kind of stuff too. But that's kind of my deal. You just getting dirt thrown up from the front tires to the rear tires, and that dirt gets in there.
And certainly when you see those grooves, I mean, that affects the pad rotor contact, and that's going to affect the distance of the ability to stop, and change the characteristics or dynamics of how the brakes work for sure. So over a long period of time, it's something that you would want to get addressed and taken care of.
So probably right now, it's probably not a bad idea to go ahead and change those out in the rear and get rotors in there, and then maybe just the pads in the front.
Depending upon what the rotor thickness is overall and everything like that. But a lot of times we are able to machine the rotors to make them true again. It just depends on the overall thickness of that rotor. There's discard specifications that we have to follow to do that. So
right, and I don't have the calipers to see how thick they are. So.
Leave it to us, the experts, to take care of that for you, Delbert.
I think rotors aren't too expensive, so I'm just going to go ahead and change those out with some,
You see that?
And I'm just going to go with back brakes because they work so well.
Yeah, you see that more and more on people just replacing pads and rotors, and I guess I'm kind of an advocate of that anyways, just because when you're machining it, you're making it thinner. When it's thinner, it's going to get hot quicker, and it's just going to either rewarp or heat is not heat. You want heat away from the brakes, not in the brakes. So
right, yes, and I got to say, you guys, awesome show today. Really, I mean, this has been educational. I did have a question that didn't get answered, but I don't know if anybody's there that can answer it. So, the question was knowing why they take and cover the seats up to keep people away from all the dirt that flies up and all that, any possible, engine failures or anything that comes about on these bikes, to keep people safe. Have they tried in any other arenas to maybe put up some kind of barrier to keep that from happening so people can get closer? And if so, did it not work out? And that's why they still do what they do? Because I know this has been years. They do it with monster trucks too. So
I'm assuming it's more for debris or as far as dirt coming off the bikes and stuff is why they block off these first rows of seats around these. I mean,
for sure. And obviously they don't want people to crash up into the stands.
Yeah. I'm sure
you get a C-class rider or even someone who's a beginner. I mean, they might get a little whiskey throttle, hit the berm, and go flying up.
Whiskey throttle. Yeah. They'd hit that berm and come flying through there, right?
Yeah, and they, you could be literally front row seats.
If there's one thing I know, it's how to whiskey throttle. So anyway.
And I do understand the safety aspect of it. I used to work out there at the EMT out there many years since Hambelton opened, and love that arena.
Yep.
It's nice. You walk around the whole and get around it in no time.
I'm sure the insurance company probably has a little bit of say in it too.
I bet they do too.
Well,
yeah, that's probably true. But like I said, if there was some kind of barrier, they could put up like a thick plexiglass that the arena would keep on hand or something.
Yeah, I agree.
Because every arena is going to be different. But
yep. Okay,
get
Delbert.
people closer. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I get it. Anyway, we're way over on time, but that's okay. So what I love about our now show, we can't be timed just to 10 o'clock or anything else from that part, but but it's going to be fun out here at Hartman Arena tonight. Michael, I can't thank you enough for being on the show with us,
sir.
Taking the time, and I think I'm going to say congratulations already because it sounds like you're going to wax her. You know what again tonight? Because
I'm going to try.
I know you're going to try, right? There's always that little part that maybe not. But
I always have to remind myself on Monday morning at 7 a.m. I got to take my girls to school. So
yeah.
So as much as it's fun to win, it's
you
always.
mean he is normal.
You have and everything else because that's it.
100%. You have to be protected. Like we were talking about earlier about just being in shape. That's what's really a lot of the crashes.
Yep, exactly right.
Thank you guys for having me on the show, and thanks to Mel. This has been awesome. Looking forward to tonight here in Wichita. Anybody in the area, come check us out. 7 o'clock.
That's right. Come see me out here at Hartman Arena, 7 o'clock. And Michael, again, thank you again, and good luck tonight. Be safe. Go kick your you-know-whats and have fun. And I hope you're in the winner circle and on those Hoosier tires for us, and we'll be there cheering you on and everything else, too.
Perfect.
So
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mike.
Mike, thank you very much for taking the time for us and everything else. Everybody jump over to the Mel Hambelton Racing Facebook page, like, comment, share for this Haas 4x4 RC car. Everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we will talk to you next Saturday. Josh, who knows where we're going to be next Saturday, right?
You never know.
You never know. Could be the last minute deal where we're going to be at or whatever, too.
All I know is I can't stop eating these potatoes.
Well, I'm going down to get some. I'm going down to get some hot food instead of this cold food. Is what I'm going to go do. Everybody, talk to you next Saturday.